where he met another genius boy. His chess skills were terrifying.
Josh couldn't even fathom his moves.
Yet he was remarkably shrewd for his age. He could slaughter opponents on the board and dominate mentally off the board. No donations, no cooperation. At that moment, Josh realized he wasn't the only genius. That evening, the boy arrived at the chess club with a man. The man was Bruce's arch nemesis. He started boasting loudly,
claiming he found the next chess god.
His disciple Jonathan not only had stronger talent,
but exuded a chess god's dominance over all opponents.
He ruthlessly outclassed Josh in every aspect, and tomorrow they would clash in the arena. Josh wasn't afraid of losing, but he feared disappointing his father. What if he lost? But at that moment, his father couldn't accept his son's defeat. You won't lose. Your opponents fear you, just as father said. In the match the next day, he noticed that when opponents saw him, they swallowed nervously out of fear. And when he turned his head, he encountered Jonathan's piercing gaze. Suddenly, he also felt that fear.
Fearful of facing Jonathan in the finals, he lost his composure.
He crashed out in the first round shockingly. Would drop him straight from heaven to hell. His father, usually gentle,
truly forced him to reflect in the rain,
and Bruce suddenly became critical, seeing Josh's harmless nature as a sin. He demanded Josh show the same killer instinct as Jonathan,
to harbor hatred for his foes, to disdain them.
But good-hearted Josh simply could not do that. Later on, even Josh's love for rapid chess in the park became a fault. His moves were only allowed at the chess club and home studying. He was given the correct answer for every move, only allowed to learn,
not allowed to question.
Suddenly, playing chess became a painful task, and whenever Josh felt weary, Bruce would impose penalties by docking points. The carrot that lured the donkey, now a knife to push the donkey. It became a log stifling his passion. Josh became gloomy all day long. He couldn't help but glance. That was where his passion began. The attentive mother saw her son's unhappiness, but she didn't know what the problem was. Until one day, Bruce threatened with point deductions as usual. Josh suddenly grew tired of this donkey chasing carrot game.
He insisted on the certificate first.
Otherwise, no more chess. Bruce chuckled at this. He said, "Are you playing chess just to get a certificate?" Well then,
he promptly pulled out the certificate
and slapped it down in front of Josh. But just as Josh took the certificate, Bruce pulled out another one, then a second one, and a third one. They were all meaningless photocopies. How many do you want? Josh was stunned. His mom came when she heard. She happened to see the scene. She was very mad. Without hesitation, she told Bruce to get out. She just wanted to guard her son. But her husband learned and they fought. The fight showed her care made Josh weak.
The mother trembled, feeling wrong.
Can't you see it? Josh isn't weak. He's simply too kind. He used to never fear losing. Now, he fears losing, not for himself, but for your love.
Isn't that true?
Look at what you've become. And what has he become? Is this really what you want?
Josh heard his parents argue.
Struggling to sleep for a while, his father also pondered all night. What exactly is he pursuing? The next day, he wanted to talk to his son. To his surprise, Josh was diligently studying the chessboard. Even the previously messy room was now tidy and clean. This change was what he had longed for. But now, he couldn't feel happiness. He cautiously told Josh, "You don't have to do this." I didn't think Josh would suddenly get it. He said, "I get it now. All my hard work is for myself." Yet, his father was not happy about it.
Because he noticed carefully.
Josh's eyes were filled with heaviness. There was no trace of joy or passion.
And took Josh to the park.
After all, this is where his passion began. As long as it makes his son happy,
he lets him have his way.
In addition, he strictly controlled how long Josh could play chess. Sometimes they play his favorite baseball, cheering and having fun with his peers. Other times they fish by the sea, capturing joyful moments. Bruce was unhappy with his father's approach. He said this would make Josh mediocre. To raise a smart kid, one must be strict and train him hard. You should see how Josh is doing now. So Bruce quietly went to the park. He was surprised to see Josh not only passionate about chess, but his skill was growing at an astonishing rate. Before long, Josh re-entered a tournament. This tournament was larger than ever. It gathers the nation's top genius chess players. Once all the players have arrived, Jonathan will make a grand entrance. This treatment is for champions. The champion's throne sees all. He gazes at Josh, while effortlessly defeating his opponent. Meanwhile, Josh storms through the rounds. He earns a shot at the title, but just before the final match, Josh sits in the lounge, lost in thought. He knows deep down, he still falls short compared to Jonathan. It's Bruce. He asks Josh if he's scared again. Josh admits he is. "I know I can't beat him." Bruce wanted to say a few words, but what came out instead was, "Indeed." Josh feels even more frightened hearing that. But then, Bruce suddenly laughed out loud. He takes out a beautifully crafted certificate. On it reads, "To his teacher, Josh is a pro. He is already a master. No matter what happens,
You are my best student."
Signed, forever proud of you, Bruce.
The serious man struggled to find warm words.
This is the only way to uplift my student. He knew Josh needed the certificate to unlock the last barrier in his heart, to let his initial passion soar freely again.
Heart changes were always so strange. When Josh walked onto the field, he was met with Jonathan's piercing gaze.
But Jonathan always had a way to stir his opponent's nerves. This was a highly anticipated match, but when the match timer started,
Jonathan, who should have made a move, remained still.
just coldly glaring at Josh. Time passed second by second. When he finally lost focus, Jonathan suddenly made his move, launching a fierce offensive. Josh was indeed thrown off his rhythm. A few steps on, he found himself in a predicament. Through the TV broadcast, Bruce noticed the opponent's strategy,
Muttering the solution he was taught Josh.
but after much thought, Josh still made a different choice. The outcome was as expected. He still lost a crucial piece. Bruce was deeply disappointed.
He couldn't bear to watch the next turn.
Yet the key mother saw. Josh's eyes seemed to hint at cunning. His face showed hesitation. The uncertainty in the move led Jonathan to believe he was winning. But suddenly, Josh outplayed him. Check. Jonathan fell into the trap. No treats, no tricks from then on. He stopped underestimating Josh, and there was certainly a skill gap between them. Josh was once again pushed into a corner. It was a classic endgame. Still, no one has cracked it. Josh stared at the board. It seemed that no matter what, the result was a tie. But suddenly, he recalled his teacher's method. He then quietly leaned over the table. At this moment, the board felt empty, but different moves raced through his mind. 10 moves, 20 moves, 30 moves, 40 moves. At last, he fixed his gaze on a square on the board. His eyes lit up instantly. The next moves from both were incredibly quick.
After all, they had imagined this countless times. Every step felt so familiar.
But suddenly, Josh made a move never seen before. Just like that, Josh miraculously claimed victory. This creative turnaround also led Bruce to completely change his teaching methods.
Under his guidance,
Josh became a chess champ. Pressure is like a poison. While it can squeeze out survival instincts in the short term, it inevitably breeds endless emptiness afterward. What can guide us further is our inner desire and a burning passion and a